I hope that you all have your tummies and your strands ready because we're about to learn how to tie a waist bead. We're going to go ahead and put the waist bead around us as if we're putting on a belt. Position it at my waist, which is 2 inches above my belly button. That is an ideal spot for me, especially if I'm trying to track weight loss, because it will fall naturally as you lose weight. If you gain weight, it will get tighter. Now, you can also put the waist bead at your high hip. Just keep in mind that when you do that, there is a possibility, there's a higher chance that the waist bead could potentially pop, because when you pull your pants on and off, you might, grab the waist bead and accidentally yank it. But if you feel comfortable, still put it there, okay? You can also put it right here in the middle. I personally love to layer my waist beads, so I typically wear waist beads stacked on top of each other. So once you have the waist bead around yourself, you just want to cross one strand over the other. And I'm going to go ahead and position the waist bead into a comfortable spot while pushing the extra beads down towards the knot, okay? Once I found a comfortable area, I'm going to go ahead and do a spot check just to make sure that the waist bead is not too tight. What I do is I kind of just glide my index finger around the waist bead to ensure that it's not too tight. The reason why you don't want your waist bead too tight is because as you eat, the waist bead is going to get tighter. If you get bloated, it's going to get tighter. It doesn't really have much give. You just want to make sure that you're allowing a bit of space for growth. Also, if the waist bead is too tight over time, it might pop just because of all of that stress and strain. Now, what we're going to do is begin making the first knot. So you're just going to pull the string that's on top under and through like that, and just pull it tightly like that. Now, if you don't have that much string left, as y'all can see, I don't have a lot of string to work with here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull the ends. I'm going to pull the knots out to allow for the beads to fall down the string and give me more string to work with. Just push the beads to the end. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm just going to pull the knot out and push the beads to the end of the string. Okay, while you have it positioned here, you want to make sure that there are no gaps. When you have gaps in your waist bead, that can become uncomfortable because it will pull on your skin, pull on your hair, and like I said, that is not the best feeling to have. Your waist bead, you shouldn't even know that it's there. Over time, it's just going to feel like a second skin. But of course, if you have gaps, it's not going to feel like second skin. You're going to know that you have that waist bead. So I can tell that there are no gaps. I have a See, when you're working with smaller beads and you pull it tightly, sometimes the beads just collect together. Tying waist beads is an art. You're not going to be perfect every time. Sometimes you got to really finagle and play with it. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to tie a shoe, okay? So I'm just going to loop this waist bead over, and then I'm going to pull it through. Okay, so we're getting ready to tie our first knot. What you want to do also is make sure that it's straight up and down. So you don't want to tie it to the side. You want to make sure it's straight up and down, okay? Typically when I'm tying a waist bead on somebody else, I'll have them take their index finger and just hold it here, pressing the waist bead against their stomach, which makes it easier for me to quickly pull the knot closed and make sure that the waist bead stays in place. Now, if you have somebody who can assist you with that, then the knot will work. But if you don't, what we're gonna do for this part, the best rule of thumb is just to take it slow until you get to the end. So y'all see here, the loop is pretty big. But all I'm doing is taking it slow. I'm pushing my fingers. I'm pushing the loop closed with my fingers. Slowly. So that when I'm actually ready to pull the knot closed, it'll be a quicker process and it'll be more likely that there won't be a gap, okay? So y'all see I'm making the knot smaller. This might take some time, so don't rush. Don't rush. And I just put on lotion, so it's a little bit less easy for me to grab it right now, but I'm just taking my time closing the knot. Okay, now y'all can see here, now the knot is much smaller. Okay, and so now I feel more confident with yanking this closed very quickly. So y'all, if you blink, you're gonna miss this. So all I'm gonna do is pull both hands in the opposite direction very quickly. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Very quick. And I'm just going to yank like this, make sure there are no gaps again, just to double check. And this, there are no gaps, so we are good to go. That was the hardest part, y'all, and look at you, you accomplished it. You accomplished it. Now I'm just going to, again, tie the shoe. Okay, over and through. Cross over and through. And at this point, if you want to, you can also go ahead and just cut the excess beads off. I actually need to go grab my scissors, so let me do that. All right, so I made about 3 knots. Now I'm gonna, and like I said, you can cut the beads off earlier, totally up to you, but now I'm going to cut the excess beads and then just lay them to the side. Now with the string that we have left over, you can either just continue tying it. Honestly, it will still stay secure if you just make several knots. I usually make up to 7 or 8 just because, you know, that's just me, but that is really excessive. It will be fine with like 4 to 5 knots, honestly. Once I have about 3 or 4 knots, I'll go ahead and grab either side of the strings, as y'all can see here, and then I'm going to kind of interlace the strings just to make sure that it is the most secure that it can be. So I just take the 2 top strings and I'm going to make a knot out of those. Take one of the top strings and the bottom string, so it's diagonal now, and I'm gonna make a knot there. Then we're gonna grab the 2 bottom string just like we did in the beginning where we have the 2 top string. We're gonna grab the 2 bottom and make a knot. And then you can repeat that process maybe twice and then you should be good to go. And I'm going to repeat that process. Make another knot diagonally, okay? Add the 2 top one more time together. Then we're gonna keep that top string in our hand and grab the bottom one. That's diagonal. We're gonna make another knot. So I'm grabbing the 2 bottom strings, tying those together. And then with the bottom string still in my, which would be your left, my right hand, I'm going to go ahead and make another diagonal knot. So I repeated that process twice. And we're good to go, y'all. I typically like to close it out just by making one more knot. And then I'm going to grab a lighter and burn the ends. Y'all like my lighter? Super cute, huh? All right, so now we're just going to cut the excess string off. You can cut it down to about 1 inch. So now pulling the waist bead away from your body slightly and holding it here with your thumb and your index. You see I'm holding right where the knot begins. I'm just going to hold the lighter to the string like this and allow it to burn down. As y'all can see, it's burned down. This is not going anywhere. It is glued shut at this point. So that's why I like to burn the ends, just to make sure it doesn't unravel. This, you don't have to actually directly hold the flame. You can just, you know, lightly, just like this. The string burns pretty fast. And then you just tap it out with the lighter. And that's that, y'all. You have your waist bead. You tied your waist bead. So congratulations to you. Now you want to just go ahead and turn it around so that the excess string will be in the back. And you're done. Just like that, voila. So we do offer waist beads on piecesofherllc.com. I'll leave the link below. We have Instagram. I'll leave all of that. So if you're interested, if you want to check out the different offerings that we have, if you're ready to conquer this waist bead tying art, go ahead and check out Pieces of Her, and we will be waiting when you're ready. All right, y'all. Peace.